We have drama between two claw clip creators, with one creator accusing another of copying, and this conversation gets quite messy quite fast. This is one of the creators involved by the name of Breromi. So this is Bree's, from what I found on her page anyways, her very first post about these claw clips, posted August 4th, 2024, labeled magnetic flower clips. Bree's claw clip idea is so cool, and I remember seeing some videos about this on my For You page, where it's magnetic claw clips and the two pieces like magnetically joined together to keep your hair up in a low tension hairstyle.
To put on the magnetic hair.
So here's Bree's video.
To put on the magnetic hair clips I've created is for low tension styles. Simply pull back your hair into a ponytail and attach the clips together to hold your hair. Second way is for thinner hair types, or if you want to wear a bun, secure your hair into your desired hairstyle with a hair tie, then attach the clips over your hairstyle and you're good to go.
So yeah, super cute. This was posted August 17th. Another video from Bree explaining why she created it.
I created these magnetic hair clips because I wanted a reliable hair accessory that wouldn't break on me. Less tension for when I pull my hair back into a ponytail, a cute hair accessory that's easy to put on. I developed the design so that it could work for all hair types by adding optional hair comb inserts for added security. These also come in a smaller size to cater to different hair thickness. Even if you have super thin hair, you can style these hair clips over a sock bun or a scarf bun.
These are Bree's videos about the claw clip. She calls it her claw click. So this is the other account by the name of Elegance and Geekery, or Elegance and Geekery LLC.
So I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I recently got put on furlough from my 9 to 5, but the good news is it gave me the time to make some of these new pieces. What do you think?
So that was the first video that you can find on Elegance and Geekery's page about these hair hoops. That's what they call it. And this was posted July 9th. So almost a year after Bree's first video. They look very similar. These are both 3D printed hair clips using magnets to kind of hold them together in the shape of a ring or a hoop to put on your hair. So Bree made a TikTok video calling them out, and that video has now been deleted. But Bree has a similar post on Threads that shares a similar sentiment, posted 6 days ago, that reads, "A white lady is trying to steal and profit from my design," renamed Hair Click to Hair Hoop, and catering her small audience to just people with straight hair. No credit either, just blatant copying. An invention I made for all hair types, locks included. And yes, I've already applied for a patent, so fair warning for anybody who tries to copy my work. I will hit you with a cease and desist. Non-compliant to that, we are going to court. So this is the sale page from Elegance and Geekery's site, and this is a graphic of hair clicks, where it's a magnetic hair clip used to put your hair in a low tension style, where you can also put prongs in it to go and hold it up easier in your hair. And that was something Bree had later added to the design. And then, as a result, because they were called out, Elegance and Geekery made their own call out.
I woke up to the biggest pit of anxiety in my stomach. On furlough from my 9 to 5, I recently made a new product called hair hoops that use embedded magnets, which is a concept commonly used in 3D printing community for over the past decade. I added prongs because it seemed obvious, and otherwise the product would fall right through my hair. It was less than 12 hours ago that a large creator was tagged, and I woke up to nearly 20 messages from this larger creator between comments, DMs, and emails threatening to take legal action against me for infringing their patent. They're currently trying to get my account banned by her audience, which is about 50 times larger than mine, and for some reason she's trying to make it a race thing. Upon a deeper dive into this issue, this creator claimed to have a patent.
On a complete side note about the race thing, I feel like the race aspect, it's not obviously the full picture, but it adds interesting context to note that Bree is a black woman, and Elegance and Geekery, and we'll look more into it, seems to be run by all white people. Calling a spade, but there is a history of black creators having their ideas taken by non-black individuals, and the black creator gets no credit. And that's just something that adds a little bit more nuance to the situation.
Nearly a year ago, but in the email to me, she claims the patent was filed last month. I also found out that there was a product for sale nearly 3 years prior to the alleged invention that is extremely similar functionally. At this point, due to obviousness of the design and previously available similar products, I'm not sure this is even patentable. This creator seems to think it's some type of game with statements like,
but prepare for the lawsuit days.
Well, my business and livelihood isn't a game to me, and I'm happy to follow the law. If this alleged invention patent is published by USPTO, I will happily take down all of my pieces if they are seen as infringing that patent. Even in her own hate campaign against me, she stated she can't do anything legally until the patent is accepted, and I completely agree. Please do not continue to send your hate mob after me or contact me further about this unless it is a link to a USPTO published patent. This is the only statement I plan to make regarding this matter.
I think this is very interesting. So they look really similar, down to it being 3D printed, down to it being bright pastel colors, down to it being joined by magnets with teeth that is insertable into the hoop. That is exactly what Brie made.
I also found out that there
Sure, is it true that previously, years ago, there have been small companies, I guess, that made something similar as a hair accessory? The thing that distinguishes Brie's hair clicks is that the hair click on its own is designed to hold your hair up. This is designed as an additional accessory after you put a hair tie in your hair. Like, this is a metal clip. It would be way too heavy to hold your hair up on its own, right? 3D printed items are a lot lighter. But secondly, I just feel like this is quite disingenuous from Elegance and Geekery because they're like, we later found out that this also exists. We found out this is a concept in 3D printing for a long time. There is no way you didn't know Brie's brand existed. If you look up magnetic hair clip, Brie's page is literally the first thing that comes up. First, you see all photos of Brie wearing the stars in her hair. Next, you see Brie's website. So you either didn't do any research whatsoever when you made your product to make sure there aren't any competitors you are already accidentally copying, or you did the research and you're pretending that you didn't. The way Elegance and Geekery anyways made it sound like is just, oh, later we found out this, later we found out that. Like, Brie has no right because da-da-da. Just admit that you saw Brie's product and you were inspired by it, you know? To absolutely deny the fact that your copying is interesting. And then Elegance and Geekery posted a second side.
So I guess I now need to provide proof because I'm being told that I made this up. Here's the original hair hoop that I showed in my last video, and here's a link in the comments. If you scroll down on here, there's a YouTube video which has a timestamp with the date of October 31st, 2021, meaning this was likely being sold at that time, if not earlier. And below in the comments, I also showed a few other places that I saw this being sold with a little bit of research. Now, please stop harassing me.
I think the biggest thing, again, is like, it sounds like they're kind of arguing two different things, where Elegance is trying to argue that Brie has no right for a patent, being like, oh, this person made this 16 years ago, so therefore Brie has no right for a patent. Where Brie is arguing that, hey, you borrowed my idea, you copied my idea and made an extremely similar product. There are two separate arguments. The argument of, is Brie's patent valid? That's up to the US Patent Department to decide. And did Elegance copy Brie, right? Because I don't believe that Elegance did not know Brie's clip existed. This is another creator talking about the situation.
Just take the pins you need and you're good to go. For ponytails, pigtails, or space buns or normal buns, we got you covered.
I put 4 in to show what it looks like. You can also use these with locks, but I like to use them if I'm wearing a low ponytail style, so it keeps it secure. I think the cutest style to wear with these is low buns or high space buns. They just look super cute. I created these magnetic hair clips.
That's 2.
This hair hoop, whether your hair is thick or thin, you'll likely want to do a twist or even a braid in your hair before securing it in a low tension hold.
It's 3. Got 1 more.
I created magnetic hair clips as an effective tool to hold all hair textures into low tension styles. Clips range in different sizes from extra small to large. Inner shape diameters range from 1.5 inches to 4 inches. The first way to put on magnetic hair clips is for low tension wear. Form hair into desired ponytail placement, connect right and left clip to secure your style.
What you have just seen is an example of a white woman stealing a black woman's idea and now is going around claiming that it's her own, even though her marketing looks exactly like the black woman's marketing, down to the lo-fi music. Now, if you look at the dates, Breromi stuff came out in September of last year.
Again, I feel like a couple extra nuances the race thing adds is that people are prejudiced against Black individuals to perceive their actions as more aggressive and violent than they actually are. So it just adds an extra layer of nuance when it comes to the situation, because maybe I am biased in the situation, right? I'm definitely biased towards Brie because I saw Brie's stuff first. But the language used in the Elegance and Geekery video to be like, oh, Bree is attacking me. You're sending your audience to attack me, right? I just think the race thing does add an extra nuance to the situation. So there are a couple posts about the patent. A commenter says, is the invention patented? Another commenter says it's pending. And that commenter says, we have to stop showing things until patents are approved because people steal ideas. Bree says, I get that, but I don't have the luxury to wait. My income comes from my creations, which is completely fair. And then Bree also adds, why didn't I patent sooner? You're allowed a grace year to patent an original invention. Ran a whole campaign to raise funds for a patent, manufacturing, and to sue people who would try to steal. And another commenter adds, I want to post this so nobody thinks it protects them. The 1-year non-filed grace period is to protect the idea from public domain for when you file. It doesn't stop somebody from stealing it and patenting it first. The only way to prevent that is to file a provisional patent, which is the protected 1-year grace period. It operates the same as a full patent, but you have to file the non-provisional within that time frame. And here's another commenter's sentiment about this. Their handle on Threads is Keandria, and they write, a black woman inventor designed a magnetic hair clip because claw clips didn't fit her locks, and a white woman immediately stole the design. The product wasn't a cute accessory. It's a solution for thick, textured hair that mainstream beauty brands ignored. It's the fact that we can't even solve our own problems without someone white swooping in to repackage our invention and center themselves. It's weird and exhausting. And yeah, right? Bree had a problem in her life where hair ties were breaking trying to keep her hair up. So she invented this as a solution to her problem. But we can get a deep dive into elegance and geekery because the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than we think, because there's a big plot twist. My cat is blocking so much of my screen. So let's take a look at the plot twist, guys. So Keandria posts this. Plot twist, Clipgate got even weirder. The woman in my profile photo, who is to update, turns out she's likely an influencer or an affiliate. One of my followers did some digging, and the real owner of Elegance and Geekery is Kirsten Owens, this woman. And the lead product developer is Caleb. So the real thief is, unsurprisingly, a white man. My guess, he stole the idea and spoon-fed it to her without telling her. Now she's stuck cleaning up the mess while he plays puppet master. So this is their website, Elegance and Geekery, or Elegance and Geekery LLC, where you can see when you go to home, the first thing is just a purchase page for the flower hair hoop. This is their LLC, Elegance and Geekery LLC on LinkedIn. Manufactured in Albany, you can see their company has 2 to 3 employees with 3 publicly associated members on LinkedIn. You can see it's Kirsten O. period. It's Kirsten Owens. She shortened it. A person by the name of Sarah and miscellaneous LinkedIn member who we don't have access to their profile. But if you notice, it says M. ENG, so mechanical engineer, computer science with a minor in artificial intelligence, bachelor's in science for electrical and computer engineering. This is Caleb Owen, M. ENG, computer science, minor in artificial intelligence, BS electrical and computer engineering, listing Elegance and Geekery LLC on their work page. Here we have Kirsten. It just got shortened. Her last name is also Owens. It was public information up until like a week ago anyways, when I looked her up. So interesting because they have the same last name, Owen. I don't know if they're related or not. People can have the same last name and not be related, okay? Here, Elegance and Geekery's page, Kirsten is literally
our mistakes be your way
on a video in here. So you can see Kirsten is talking. There is a girl featured in the content. She is the main person featured in the content, but she's likely just a creator. If you go through the page, it's this girl. She is the main face of their products. But it sounds like, according to the LinkedIn, that the actual people who created the company and are behind really the company is not her, but is Kirsten and Caleb. Because again, Kirsten on LinkedIn is listed as the CEO and owner of Elegance and Geekery. Caleb is listed as co-founder with lead technical developer in parentheses. Yeah, so Sarah is listed as under Elegance and Geekery, but she's the CEO of her own LLC by a similar name. But I just think it's interesting because this page, Elegance and Geekery, is kind of cosplaying as an individual, not a group of people, right? It says, check out my creations and cute pups. And you mainly just see this one person. If you saw the video again.
So I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I recently got put on furlough from my 9 to 5.
Like, the bad news is I recently got put on furlough by my 9 to 5. For all intents and purposes, the videos make it seem like there's only one person behind this. So the rabbit hole just gets deeper. It is so interesting. So Bree 5 days ago wrote, would you guys support a GoFundMe for my legal fees? The person who stole my invention threatened a civil suit against me. So then Bree links her GoFundMe. And the GoFundMe is almost at the goal. It's at 11,800 raised. I'm sure like really soon it's gonna pass the goal. I already donated. And then Bree, some extra sentiments from her as, clips with magnets have existed so you didn't invent it. My invention, Hair Click, is a low tension hair accessory tool that connects magnetically. It can hold all hair types without a ponytail holder with the help of teeth for security. End of discussion. And Bree adds 13% of US patent recipients are women. Imagine how small the percentage is for Black women. There's a reason why Black women inventors are significantly underrepresented. I can't wait to make a video highlighting the issue. And Bree has a video about the situation.
Black women have been inventing the future for centuries, but the world keeps stealing our ideas and erasing our names. Less than 1% of US patent owners are Black women, and that's not a coincidence. It's the result of systematic racism, sexism, and exclusion. For generations, our innovations have been dismissed and claimed by others with more power and privilege, and today we're still fighting for recognition, protection, and ownership. This isn't just history, it's still happening. I wanted to share my experience with something that recently happened to me. And I won't name the name of the company because this isn't about targeting or bashing anyone. It's about bringing light to a pattern that many independent creators face when building something original and meaningful.
She basically goes in to tell her story, which we've already shared a lot of her content about. Just the race thing was just a big thing that a lot of people were really hung up on, and I just feel like it is important to the conversation. And then finally, 8 hours ago, Bree has this update, which she writes, "Good news, I'm getting a patent attorney to handle my application so everything goes smoothly. Bad news, the company's hateful TikTok post is gaining more traction, more randoms harassing me." So that is the end of the situation as it is right now. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Either Elegance invented the concept all on their own without knowing Bree's idea even existed, which is, I personally find hard to believe because Bree's clips were made over a year ago. So I guess you invented something and didn't do any research whatsoever to see if it already exists. Or Bree was knowingly copied and they are denying it up to their eyeballs. I think it's just very interesting because they never mention Bree at all in any capacity relative to their invention, if that makes sense. We recently just talked about the makeup brand Poom, who has a product very similar to a different Korean brand called Glow. And in Poom's addressing of the situation, they talked about Glow in that they were like, yeah, so we were trying to make a makeup brand. I originally wanted to make a cushion foundation. It was too expensive. The manufacturer suggested I make a liquid foundation, so I agreed. And then the manufacturer also suggested I make a puff to apply it to your face, and I agreed because it sounded like a good idea. And I signed off on it. And after I signed the papers to pay the money, I then discovered Glow. And I love Glow, and I recognize their products look similar. And I promise in the future I'll try to make our stuff look much more different. I had already signed off on everything and paid the money. There wasn't much I could do beyond that anymore. And that one's pretty believable because both brands, Poom and Glow, made their products at around the same time. Around 2023 was when they both started their companies, with Glow trademarking their brand name in 2023. Poom claims to have started the manufacturing process 2 years ago, which would be 2023. So there's that. But with the Elegance and Geekery thing, they never made any mention of their relation to Bree. They never said anything along the lines of, oh, we invented it and then we realized that Bree has a similar product, so I'm sorry, it was a complete accident. Never said anything like that. They were just like, yeah, well, Bree's patent isn't valid because other people have come up with a similar concept. Interesting. I just feel like the story that Elegance and Geekery has doesn't seem to hold too much water. But that's me personally, and would love to hear your thoughts respectfully. He's so cute. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe. If you want to support Bree, I will have Bree's GoFundMe link down below so that you can go support. Hopefully Bree can hit the goal soon and get the patent. And yeah, I also have a VGen and Etsy with digital art that I sell over there for streamers and creators, and a coffee with free resources if you're a creator, if you want free emotes. And I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys there or in another video.